For my leg.
Yeah. She can't participate. Oh, maybe she can. She told me she was going to call in. She told me she was going to be.
You're on mute.
Looks like she's in the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She looked like she was tired.
She was traveling. I don't know where.
Hey Lisa, I'm in here. Hey Lisa, you see me?
I see it, Sarah.
Good morning.
Okay. Morning.
We're wondering where you are.
I'm going to Nashville.
Oh,
Okay. Are you flying the plane?
my daughter lives there.
No, I have to drive because it's for buying
Okay.
antiques.
You got the headphones on, I just wondered.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see if we can fix that.
Good luck. No, I tried yesterday. I could get one. I couldn't get the other one. It was just a mess. Yeah.
I can stand here. Could you?
It looks like Easter behind you, Dave, with the sunshine.
What's that?
It looks like an Easter photo behind you.
Second coming is happening. Right? Is Ken coming?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him. You not?
No.
Okay.
I thank you for your accommodation. I have a funeral for a 94-year-old in Albany this morning, so I didn't want to come down and back so quickly. But
So we still have a quorum though, right? We're good.
Okay. 8:30. Welcome, everybody. And the first item on the agenda is the minutes of January 17th.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Committee evaluation. Is that performance summary? Is that? No. That's just your committee, your annual committee evaluation.
Just a one-page
It's after.
survey of the committee members.
Yeah, it says performance summary. Right? Oh, it does, you're right. Okay, I just see this a little bit of questions about if we discussed the guidelines and policies enough. And opportunities to review, so I will take those into consideration. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, compliance count. As presented.
So we were doing more focus on
No. Okay,
Motion approved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Committee charters review update. The update is that Andy and I are still waiting to get together and hope to have this done next week. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, committee appointments, new members. I think we're pretty much up to date with all of that as it was presented on the in your packet review. The only person who, Rick Cummings, I'm going to talk to him because the only committee he's on is executive committee. And I don't know if he has time enough to be on one of the other committees.
okay.
And I see there's one vacancy on this committee, which the makeup seems to be now that this committee has the heads of all the other committees on it.
Johnston does not have a committee appointment.
Hmm?
Michael Johnston does not
Oh, I
have a
thought
committee.
we put,
I
there's
don't
one
see it.
place that says workforce. I think he asked for workforce.
Oh, you
I
did?
think you did too. I think you're right, so.
I penciled him in there. I think that's a great vibrant committee right now. It's great to have a lot of members on it.
Is it anticipated that workforce may change? Is it anticipated that workforce may change in structure at all or not?
They haven't talked about that.
Okay,
I don't know if the structure will change, maybe just the focus of the work that will be done by that
okay.
committee.
We still need a full committee though.
Yeah.
I don't know any update on Anita Body, whether she's continuing or not. Mike, have you heard anything from Anita?
She said she would like to. Obviously, the issue is she's working in Ulster County and living in Ulster County. I don't think we did check the bylaws. I don't think there was any requirement, but the business she's working for doesn't have offices in Columbia County. But, she had added a lot of value to the board when she was with KeyBank. So why don't you and I, Sarah, have a conversation and decide who should reach out to her?
All right, that sounds like a good idea. Because if she's going to be involved, then I want to see her attending meetings.
Mhm.
Okay, we are now to employee handbook update. Is that Jessica?
Jessica and I met with Elena DeFio-Keen 2 weeks ago, and or even maybe a little bit longer than that. And we had hoped to have the revised draft based on our conversation with her last Thursday, and we got it yesterday. I wanted to have the opportunity to review it and then have the staff review it before bringing it to the Governance and Nominating Committee and then the full board. So we're kind of disappointed with the timing, but I think we're moving the process forward, and I'm confident that with a revised draft that incorporates some things that we discussed with her, as well as the updated statutory and regulatory language that's needed, that we will be able to get this resolved within the next meeting of this committee and the board. Some of the things that Jessica and I discussed with her primarily related to inconsistencies between what we do and what the document said we do. And there were title issues that don't exist anymore. There were notices that we also identified that we needed to put into some type of a tickler, so that if this, that, or the other thing happens, we make the proper notices and incorporate in our office procedures the things that were identified in the handbook as required. We also looked at how the interplay of a policy that we had for continuing salary for 30 days in the case of someone who had serious illness or medical issues or accidents, interfaces now with the disability, New York State Disability and the Family Leave Act and all of the other benefits that have been mandated or incorporated into statutory requirements to come up to where we were. We had put that in long before anybody was required to provide that type of benefit. So it was unclear to us when we reviewed it. You know, several years ago, you may recall, Ed, Steffler fell out of the deer blind and was injured, and we continued his salary while he was recuperating before he was eligible for disability. You know, today we wouldn't have known which of those plans we would have triggered to provide that benefit. So we wanted to streamline those types of things and make them consistent. Jessica, were there any other examples that we might share with the committee?
No, I think the other stuff was more smaller cleanup, but those are the big ones, like.
We also looked at you know, the realities of time off. You know, certainly we want people to accrue time and earn it so that you know, you don't receive your full allocation of time off on January 1, but you can use it as needed beginning on January 1. And you know, so Elena was helping us incorporate you know, best practices, you know, both. But I wanted the employees and staff to be able to review that and discuss it and question it and identify any concerns before we finalized it with the board.
All right, thanks.
In that
Annual meeting
regard,
planning.
we're hoping to schedule this week or next an hour and 15-minute staff meeting. Elena has identified for us the state mandated training courses. And now that we have a full contingent of staff in place, that we thought it was the best time to have everyone take that training at the same time. And also Elena provided us, or I guess she's going to provide us with some templates for us to begin to establish a employment performance review process that will allow each of us to have some goals and objectives and some basis on which to review it and to tie it into merit increases going forward. So Jessica's helping me with some of her background from larger organizations and the state to put some of these practices and policies in place, again with the input and feedback from the staff as we implement these changes.
Okay, thanks. What about board training? Do we have to do things like sexual harassment and?
I think
Is
that
that
there's,
annual?
Jessica, is it a 20-minute video?
Yeah, Department of Labor has sexual harassment training modules. There's 2 20-minute videos that meet all of those requirements that you can just download from the website. I guess I have to look and see, does that meet a board's requirement? I'm assuming it does, but I want to double check. That's what we're gonna watch for the employee portion. I just don't know if that meets the board's
Okay.
requirement. But I believe that there are free ones out there that we could just look into, find, and then require the board to either do it here or download and watch it independently.
Is that an annual?
It is an annual thing.
Is that something go in the charter?
No, I wouldn't put it in a charter because it's gonna change
Right.
by state law.
Yeah.
So,
I think
Okay.
the other thing is, Sarah, even if it's not required of the board, we could have a 10 or 15-minute presentation so that everyone has the opportunity to be sensitized to the issues and concerns. Also, Sarah, I'm going to have to ask you to participate as our ethics officer in a 1-hour training session with respect to the New York State Lobbying Act. Because I'm under contract, not an employee, when I go to the Board of Supervisors to negotiate the annual funding and contracts, the state law dictates that I'm a lobbyist, and I have to be a registered lobbyist. And so 5% of my contract on a monthly basis is allocated to lobbying. And when I meet with the supervisors or the county in connection with funding, not other issues, it's required that I take the course and the ethics officer from the client take the course. So I'll follow up with you on that. But I think a lot of these things with COVID, well, this is a new requirement, but with COVID, some of the other compliance matters that Elena and Jessica and I have reviewed are, it's timely that we get caught up on those.
Great, all right. I'll do that. All right, what about the annual meeting planning?
We sent a letter to John Williams, and I'm kind of disappointed not even hearing back that it was acknowledged. We sent it to his director of communications, who we met when the Fed president was here at the community college in October. I do plan to call her today. Jessica and I and Riley are planning to meet tomorrow to look at the timeline for the annual meeting so we can work backwards. Lisa, I think I reported at the previous meeting, did contact Kozels, and we have the room booked for the breakfast, and they're excited to have us back. And we have a pretty good timeline, run of show, how to get all the steps necessary to implement the annual meeting in writing based on our past events, including getting the annual report written, getting it typeset, getting it printed. So I think we're in good shape, although it is 75 days away. So time moves fast, but I do think if you do have other suggestions with respect to a speaker, please contact me and we can explore that and perhaps finalize some prioritization of potential speakers at the board meeting at the end of the month. I do think that it's unlikely that John Williams will be available on a Tuesday. And I don't necessarily think we want to move the meeting from a Monday to a Friday. I'm also thinking that someone of his caliber might be someone that we might want to hold a special event in the fall or in the spring next year at the college, where we could get more than the 120 people that you can get at Kozels. I do think that he, last year we had Adam Bosch from Pattern for Progress. Each of the years prior, during COVID, we had Dr. Drummer. And prior to that, for several years in a row, we had Hugh Johnson. And I do think that if you could continue to think of someone, Michael Malinsky called me and said, what about Gladwell? And I said, well, again, he'd be someone you'd want to have a ticketed event with 250 people instead of our own breakfast. And I know that originally Peter Taylor from the Berkshire Taconic Community Foundation had sought him out as the speaker and ended up with John Williams because of, again, we're looking at people who have second homes in Columbia County that might be willing to make the effort because of their, wanting to support the community where their second home exists. So if you do have ideas, let me know, and we can move forward with those invitations and confirmations.
All right, thanks. Board openings, we don't really have one right now. We have somebody.
We have a
in the
potential
voting
candidate,
process.
but we don't have an opening seat. So let's get together and decide where Anita fits in at this point based on her changes in job and residency.
All right, thanks. Staffing update.
Well, I should turn the camera over to those of the staff who are in the room. But from my perspective, we have a whole new environment and vibe. It's great to have Riley and Steve and Chris on board. I think that they've each have gotten up to speed quickly and have added a lot of energy and dynamics to our office and to the ability to get work done and to serve a broader constituency. I know there's a lot of synergy between what Martha and Steve are doing, what Jessica is doing with the Columbia Forward program, and what Chris is doing with housing. There's a good dialogue and communication between them. We joked that we wouldn't want to be going to a meeting where Martha was leaving, Chris was coming in, and Jessica was following up after he was leaving with the same person. So, and because of the fact that if a small business needs our help for a loan, we want the supervisor and town leadership to know about it so they can be supportive as well. And no doubt that employers are concerned about where their employees are going to live. So, those three activities working together, along with some of the workforce and educational activities that we're partnering with others on, they're really related. And it's been great to see all of us communicating with each other about particular projects so that we can get the input and value and the benefit of each other's experience, but also the collaboration and coordination that allow us to cover for each other if we have several meetings at the same time or in different places. Anyone from the staff want to weigh in? But I think it's going very, very well. And Kat and Lisa, with all of the regulatory issues that we're going through, and with the audit that's for the three organizations, I think Kat gets 100 questions a day from the auditors, because I think they help train their auditors, their younger auditors, with our complex finances. Anyone from the staff want to pipe in?
I'll speak up for the new people. I'll say I feel really welcomed and accepted. I worked at the Berkshire Regional Planning Commission for a year immediately prior to coming here, and we were all planners. I already feel less siloed in this position with this company than I did working with planners. It already seems like there's more cross functionality. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, Chris, if you have anybody from your past contacts that you think might be good for the annual meeting.
Almost every person that has been outside the CEDC and kind of outside the county that has showed up on my email is somebody that I've worked with in the past. Like all the state level contacts and housing are kind of the same. For a keynote speaker is it for the entire board? For the annual board meeting?
It's big, and the members.
Think about that. I haven't thought about that because I've been so focused on the task force work. But yeah, there are definitely people I would put on a short list that I look forward to my work.
Great. Thanks. Steve, everything happy? You're almost an old hand now. Old timer.
Tenure next month.
And Jessica, with Future Forward or Columbia Forward, could you just give an overview? And we're also very busy with a lot of different projects, and it's amazing the initiatives that supervisors are now bringing to our attention and looking for help, not only for business loans, but grants and other activities.
Do you want me to give an update? Okay. So Columbia Forward, yeah, it was very active. I know Chamber's been going through some transition with staffing. So the Bill Gerlach has stepped up, and he's really now playing the role that Debbie was involved in. So we've been continuing to meet with supervisors. We met with Supervisor Rodna with Stuyvesant last week. Bill and I just started to talk about Stuyvesant, the businesses that are there, as well as the priorities of within the community. So that went really well. We had last week, a workshop, a training business workshop which was on QuickBooks, so the second round. So that went well. We're looking at sort of thinking about, I know with chamber now sort of short-staffed, that timing and thinking about plans for the upcoming workshop are a little bit on hold, but I think once the new staff person that the chamber has gets a little bit on board and starts, I think we'll be full steam ahead back on those workshops. We have a business roundtable meetup with Germantown scheduled for March 2nd at 5 o'clock. So the invites just went out, last week also, to all of the businesses in Germantown. So that's really gonna be,
They have their own committee too, right?
they do, they have a very active committee, the GDAC, Germantown Economic Development Committee, I think is what it stands for, pretty simple. And so we've been working really great with them. They're very active, very excited about this meetup. It's gonna be held at the Central House. And that is a new, somebody just acquired that, they've been renovating it, there's hotel rooms upstairs that you can rent, and then they have community space and a bar and a restaurant.
When is this again?
March 2nd at 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock. So that's really, our intention is really that we're gonna take this event that we're building for Germantown and hopefully then run that across the county with other economic development committees and other, really the idea is to now start touching the businesses. Really start to hear about what their needs are, get out there, talk about what CEDC and what the chamber does, what we offer, our programs, and also just be a resource for those businesses. So really looking forward for that event.
Yeah. Have you talked to Rachel about it?
Not yet. I do need to send it to her since the invite just went out through the town's newsletter. Might have even been Monday or Friday. My plan is to reach out to Rachel. She had said that.
Yeah,
She
because
wanted
we have
to
her
participate.
involved.
Yeah. Thank you for the reminder.
Lots of good work.
And
Right.
Supervisor Donnell Collins in Chatham invited us to participate in a housing conference or forum that he's having later this month, and it's on a Saturday, and Chris has agreed to participate. And we're getting a lot of interaction with the supervisors, which I think is what was intended with the Columbia Forward program. And the Board of Supervisors also approved our $460,000 annual contract last week, and Dave signed the contract, and it goes to Chairman Morrell today. So we're in good stead with our funding sources.
Okay, any other business? Public? No public.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Have fun in
All right,
Nashville.
thank you.
Thanks.
I love that.